everybody. Today we have beautiful gaming laptop, Lenovo Legion 5 16i RX8 series. It's an Intel Core i9 13th gen processor with beautiful graphics RTX 4060. Let's take it apart, let's see what we can fix, replace or upgrade. Start with bottom screws. Now we have to separate the bottom case from the palmrest. So find a gap where you can place your tool in. And work your way around the edge to separate all the clips. And the bottom is off. Look for the part number on the white sticker. So now we have access to all the internal components. So let's start with disconnecting the battery. It's gonna be easier if we take the screws out first. If the screws are very tight, better use manual screwdriver. Otherwise you can strip the screw head and you won't be able to take it out at all. Alright, so now we can take it out. Looks like there is one screw under that cover, so let's take care of that cover first. So that's the battery screw. Okay, and now we can disconnect it. Pull out the connector. So if the battery is swollen or doesn't hold the charge, you can replace it. That's the model part number for the battery. Here under those covers there should be our RAM memory. So if you take it off, you can see the memory. So if the memory doesn't work, you can replace it, or you could upgrade it to the bigger one. Spread those arms and you can take out the memory. That's the DDR5 memory. Now let's check under that cover. So here, that's our storage. So if your laptop doesn't boot and tells you there is no boot device, or you would like to upgrade storage to the bigger one, this is how you can do it. Just slide it out. That's the NVMe SSD drive. And here, that's our Wi-Fi card. So if the Wi-Fi doesn't work, you can replace this card. Gently disconnect the antenna wires. And now take out the screw on the top. And you can take out the card. Look for the model number here. Now that's our heatsink to cool the processor and the graphics. So if this overheat or the heatsink is bent or clogged with dog or cat hair, you can replace it, or you can add cooling paste between the heatsink and the processor. So unscrew all the screws. Let's take out the screws for the fan as well. They may be connected to the heatsink. So sometimes fan makes grinding noise or doesn't spin, so that's when you like to replace it. Now disconnect the fan from the motherboard. Maybe easier if we first take out the heatsink. Alright, so the fan and the heatsink assembly is out. Look for the part number on the white sticker. Be careful, don't bend the heatsink. If you bend it, it won't work anymore. Now here, that's our I/O board with our USB port and the audio. So if these don't work, you can replace this board. Take out this one screw. And you can take it out. Cable is under the motherboard, so let's take out the motherboard also. Before we do it, let's disconnect our speakers. So if the sound is bad, you can replace your speakers. Gently lift the connector. So those are the speakers. And the part numbers are on the white sticker. So now continue to disconnect all the remaining cables, like the keyboard cable, the touchpad, and now let's take out all the screws. Oh, there's a video cable for the screen. All right. That's connector. Now we can disconnect our I/O board. I always close those clips, otherwise you can break it later. So that's the I/O board. Look for the part number here. And that's our motherboard. Here we have the part number. And here we can see the processor and the graphics, they both soldered on the motherboard. So if these don't work, you have to replace the motherboard. Now let's disconnect our screen assembly from the Palmrest keyboard touchpad assembly. So unscrew the screws for the hinges. Now let's take off this hinge cover panel. And so find a gap where you can put the tool in and separate the clips. Sometimes you have to wiggle this part to disconnect the clips. Alright, so that's the hinge cover stripe. Now let's take out the screws for the hinge covers. So let's take out also these hinge screws. There are 2 more screws underneath. Alright, now we can disconnect our screen assembly. Okay, so that's a Palmrest touchpad keyboard assembly. Let's see, the keyboard is riveted to the Palmrest, you cannot replace it. As for the touchpad, looks like it's held by these screws, so you can replace it. Let's see if we can take it out. So there are screws on the top of the touchpad also. And this is how we can take it out. So that's our touchpad. Look for the part numbers on the white stickers. And that's the Palmrest keyboard assembly, usually sold in one piece. If you need parts, check gotlaptopparts.com. And that's our screen. Very fragile. I would recommend to look for the whole screen assembly like this one. Check on eBay and gotlaptopparts.com. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.